Yo, today I'm gonna go over Game Maker's Toolkit 2023, and I was a part of that jam. And so basically, the theme is role reverse. We kind of thought like we could have the main character be a villain, and he escapes from a cage and takes over, kills the heroes. So first thing we did was create the player. So it started 10 a.m. my time, and I had to work 9 hours that day, so I wasn't able to actually work on this project until about 6:30 p.m. at night, and I was already just so tired. So that night I just created the main character's animations, made some goofy animations, made some jumping, jump start, fall, land, run, and that really took up the whole night. And by the time I was done with these, I was already just so tired, so I ended up going to sleep. I know, call me a wimp. So Saturday morning, I got the player going. So I added the animations in, I added the ability to grapple, which is just a line trace from the player. It's a little finicky and I wasn't able to polish it that much, but we added that. This is the grappling hook code. Big pile of spaghetti that's very unorganized and messy, but we got the grappling hook to work. And then after that, my other teammate started making enemies, so he had them run around. It has a health bar show up, that we have the health bar showing where you take damage. They're a little broken. I created the locomotion for the player. I just have simple idle to run, falling, begin jump, attacking, and then I was gonna add a grappling hook, but I ran out of time unfortunately. Added the health system. I just added a basic progress bar at the top, and it just, whenever you take damage, it goes down. I was sad too because I was starting to create a really nice UI for dialogue, and I wanted to have this whole story planned out where this guy's little eye that lives in his arm goes and saves him, restores his power, and so he can escape from the cage, and I was gonna have some cool lines between the two, but unfortunately, we just couldn't squeeze it in before we submitted. I had dashing in there, but it wasn't working very well, so I had to turn it off, but I will implement it later. We fully intend on continuing this game, and just like really polishing it out. It's so broken at the moment. As for movement, how it works is we just show the mouse cursor, we set the movement, and add the widget for the health, and then simple jump function of how that works. I have it set up to where the longer you hold the spacebar, the higher you jump. So like if you tap it, you don't jump very high, but if you hold it, you jump higher. And I wasn't able to polish the animation checks and timing. That's another thing we definitely want to fix. And we did add an attack. The hitbox doesn't work very well, but it is there. After that, I designed a respawn system, so these little eyeballs are your checkpoints, and when you die, so let's say you go across these spikes, you die, which we need a death animation. You go here, you die, your health bar goes to 0, and you get teleported back, health restored. So it's very, very good that way. But yeah, the point is just to like swing across. It's really difficult and kind of janky, but I mean, it works. There's a little bit of gameplay. Definitely want to add more to this game and make it polished. I feel like this game has a lot of potential. We did have an enemy, they just didn't work very well, and they also didn't receive damage very well whenever you attacked. We really want to implement more. We wanted to have like ranged enemies and maybe a boss, but we just didn't get around to that. When I tried to package the project, it was a disaster. It threw a lot of errors, and it took me probably 3 hours like to figure it out, just because I haven't really encountered that before. The first time I packaged it, it took 2 hours. So in that 2-hour time frame, I actually ended up drawing the cover art, which here it is. I really wish I got a time lapse of it. I wanted to record, but it was really fun. I do want to like clean up a lot of it, but it's what I could draw in 2 hours while the game was cooking. I have little guys over here. I really wanted them to be the range characters. Little civilians in the background. I actually didn't even finish this guy. This is actually the melee guy that you fight. And of course, this is the main character with his grappling hook arm. But yeah, and his little sword behind him. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's very like futuristic, and it was really fun to draw this actually. I love drawing cyberpunk stuff and just like futuristic stuff in general. Like right when I finished this, at least to where it is right now, Obviously I could fix it a lot more. It was done. There was so many errors I needed to fix with the packaging, and that itself took me like 3 hours, but we got it. I stayed up until 3:30 a.m. getting this all ready to go. My music artist actually was the one who designed the levels, which I normally do in these game jams, but she did such a good job. We just have to fix the collisions for death, because some of them do kind of stick out a little bit and the player interacts and they just die instantly, so it's a little awkward, and we really want to polish the movement and just make it better, but sadly we can't post an update for a whole week, which is crazy. After that week, we definitely want to turn this into like our side game, where we go in and like really try to polish things and make everything look really good. We made a very quick main menu. Here it is. This is actually, I drew this in 15 minutes. I was on my break at work and I was able just to like whip this together the very first day of our game jam, right after it started. This would be like the grappling hook, this would be a sword, and here he is now. I think it's pretty good. Like I think it's pretty solid. I think this is a good looking dude. For the minimal time that we had, I am proud of it. And I like these little checkpoints, and you can teabag on your enemies, you know, once you kill them, but yeah. I feel sad that I wasn't able to make the gameplay as like nice and clean as I wanted it to. But again, we are going to polish it because we kind of fell in love just with the story and the lore, and we want to add a lot more places to go. Yeah, I'll do a brief overview on how the enemies are set up. So basically how they work is when you place them in a level here, you can add 2 points of patrol points so they don't accidentally fall off the ledges, and they can just walk back and forth. When you enter this capsule or this sphere, they'll attack you, and if you go away, they'll stop attacking you. They deal damage to themselves, so if you stand in here, they'll eventually just kill themselves. That, and like they don't really they don't receive damage very well, because the hitbox, it fires once. It's kind of huge right now because I was debugging. It fires off once, and so when the enemy's here and you hit, it gives them damage, but you have to go out and back in order to actually attack them, which we can just fix, but I just didn't get around to it, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna go over the spawn system. I just created a simple game instance with respawn, transform, and checkpoint on, and it's just a really simple checkpoint system. I also created a save. I don't think it's really that functional right now, but all it saves is just the player position. The BP respawn. Basically how it works is it gets the overlap, so it gets the player. It takes the relative transform wherever the checkpoint is. That is where you're going to respawn. So since it's here, you'll respawn at this eye. Then it sets the checkpoint on. Then it sets the new flipbook. So it kind of turns into like this throbbing thing when it's working. And then this is where it saves the game. And so on the player, this is my damage system. To receive damage, event any damage, and this is when it subtracts from your main health bar. Takes is dead, if you're not, is dead, and then if true, set health. When you died, you make a dead noise, and then set is dead true, saves the game. And I did have a death counter here. It's not working at the moment though. I wasn't able to finish that. But start camera fade, it fades out, and then it respawns. So basically how the respawn system works is it delays just a little bit, casts to the game instance, the respawn one, sets the checkpoint, checks to see if it's on, and then if it's true, it teleports you to the new location, and it also resets your health, which up here is the event for that. So it's just a custom event, really simple. When you die, so it checks is dead if it's true, and health is not equal to 1, it sets is dead false, resets it 100 health back, and then it just resets your player after it teleports you. So your health just resets back to 100, which is really nice. It's super simple, and it works really well for game jams like this because it's just super simple. You don't have to reload the level, reload anything like that. But yeah, basically that is it. You guys need to check out Cassie. She did the background art. She also did some of the environment art, so like the platforms. I made the spikes, but she made like the really cool looking platforms. We have really cool footstep sounds. It's very nice, very crispy, you know? This is the cage that actually you're supposed to break out of, but unfortunately I didn't have time to get it working. I really wanted this to be good, but man, it's crazy how time flies when you're in game jams. Like, we did so many of the base mechanics. Like, if we had one more day, this whole concept would have been so much more polished. Because yesterday was just implementing new functions and new events, and that's just part of game jams, you know? You just overscope, and it's just kind of crazy. It still was so much fun, really good learning experience, and yeah, it's a good time. If you participated in the jam, congrats. If you want to check out my tutorials, I'm making tutorials for platformers and top-down games. I may or may not release the project files. Let me know if you guys are interested in like really seeing the project files. I have to ask my team, but I would love to release it to you guys if you guys are interested, so you guys can open it in Unreal Engine and just kind of check it out. If I do release it, I'll probably release it to my Ko-Fi supporters, because I just want to reward them for something for supporting me. So it's super helpful, my supporters. I do want to give back in some way, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Have fun coding. See you later. Peace.